Well, Don and Jackie, certainly dramatic moments in court this afternoon when one by one the forebear read out that a jury could not reach a verdict when it came to 12 of those counts. Despite this, as you noted, he was found guilty on one count of obstruction of justice, one count making false statements to an agency of the United States. But again, as you noted, he was found not guilty of one count of obstruction of justice. The jury did come to a deadlock on those other charges, the especially serious charges against Joseph Bongiovanni involving conspiracy, accepting a bribe, and the drug offenses. After the verdict was read, Judge Lawrence Villardo sent the jury back to the room and called them out one by one to ask if they reached this verdict free of coercion, each saying yes. This comes after an afternoon note a juror submitted saying that they were being attacked personally during deliberations. Villardo told prosecutors and the defense attorneys he needed to make sure they reached a verdict freely. At another point during one of the 6 days of deliberations, a note read aloud in court stated a juror was being, quote, unduly. Bongiovanni hugged his attorneys after the verdict was announced today. He did not have comment on today's rulings, but his attorneys spoke with us after, and this is what they had to say.
We were really overjoyed with the verdict today. Obviously, we didn't win on everything, but I think the one thing that showed everybody was that the government's evidence was really not that convincing. The only thing Mr. Bongiovanni got convicted of was taking a file from the DEA office home to his house. That's all the government's proof showed, and there was significant disagreement by the jurors over the remaining counts. And I think that calls into question whether this prosecution should be continued.
So are you happy with this result?
How are you feeling about this verdict?
Well, you're seeing right there Joseph Bongiovanni walking into a car parked outside, waiting for him, having no comment to members of the media. So where exactly do we go from here now? No sentencing date has been scheduled for those two charges Bongiovanni was found guilty on. He faces a maximum of 20 years in federal prison. His attorneys did not give a definitive answer either whether or not they plan to appeal that ruling, but they are calling for Judge Villardo to dismiss the charges the jury could not reach a verdict on. They must submit an argument in the next couple of weeks. Prosecutors then have 2 weeks after that to make their argument why a trial should continue on. In fact, prosecutor Joseph Trippi argued that a retrial for those counts should be called as soon as practical, though Judge Lawrence Villardo says that he plans to make a decision on that in the coming weeks by mid-May, whether or not a retrial will happen in that case. We did ask prosecutors as they walked outside whether or not they had a comment on today's ruling. They declined to comment. We also reached out to U.S. Attorney Trini Ross to see if she had a comment. She did not either. Reporting live in downtown Buffalo, Marley Tuskus, News 4.